This video contains the top 3 best Town 12 attack strategies that don't require super troops to 3-star any base. Starting with the third best army, we have the Electrone Lalo. We want to start with the Electron portion. You can bring in the use of lightning spells to remove an air sweeper if you would like, but using the Lava Hound, a couple balloons, and the Battle Blimp can get your Electron in, and especially towards the core of the base. Using 2 clone spells is more than enough in getting rid of the Town Hall, alongside other value and possibly the enemy CC troops, making this a very easy way to clear through a large area of the base while still clearing the core, such as the Town Hall. Typically, you could either go in for an enemy hero like the Queen, but you don't necessarily need to thanks to Headhunters. From here, we move into the Hero Dive portion. This is using your Barbarian King and Archer Queen to get additional value. Of course, you can use a Baby Dragon or Wizards to provide support to getting them to go in the right direction, but also using wall breakers, regular wall breakers at that, in order to open up the wall is incredibly important since you're not using the super wall breakers. With this Hero Dive though, you want to go in for any value. I mean, anything that is going to hit air is entirely something that is up for grabs. The Eagle Artillery, air defenses, expos, you name it, you should go for it. This is an incredibly good way to cut down the part of the base and also remove a key defense like the Eagle Artillery or Inferno Towers. From here, you'll then send in your Lalo. Usually using a Lava Hound and a couple groups of balloons, usually around 3 groups, can be incredibly good. Using other balloons though to cut off the funnel and make one big balloon parade is incredibly important. In terms of this, if you're dealing with the enemy Queen, which you should often be doing, use Headhunters underneath the Grand Warden ability. Not only will the balloons take advantage of it, but also the Headhunters will, and they'll remove the Queen with ease. As for spells, haste spells should be able to get to those key defenses, like the Infernos, air defenses, really anything that's going to hit air. Of course, free spells are also really nice on those type of defenses, such as air defenses or even expos, or really just any splash related building or anything that hits air. This is really an easy way to get through the rest of the base. And of course, you've got minions and lava pups. Make sure to use them so you do not earn a time fail, since that would be the suckiest thing in the world, especially with lava balloons. So make sure you use your minions so you can clean up the rest of the base and prevent yourself from getting a time fail. Now, the second best army is going to be the Zap Dragons, as it is a very solid option. Of course, you're going to mainly look for air defenses, but if you notice that they're by Infernos, using an Earthquake with 2 lightning in between the air defense and the Inferno, and 2 more on the Inferno, can get you some really nice value. Doing the same thing on another set can either help you create the funnel, but also get just massive value off of the base. Sometimes if you don't see this, you could just use your lightning spells on just air defenses, usually using around 6 lightning and 3 earthquake is a must for that, or using 8 lightning spells and 1 earthquake to remove an Eagle Artillery, 2 air defenses, and a couple air sweepers can be really nice for you as well. Outside of this though, the lightning spells could create a solid funnel, but you already need to create a funnel on the outside to control where your dragons are going. So on one side, you could use an Electro Dragon and maybe a Baby Dragon, while on the other side, you can use your Barbarian King and Archer Queen, both of which can be very good, since you really don't have to worry about air defenses with each, especially with the Electro Dragon, and that Electro Dragon can get some pretty nasty chains. Now, the other thing that you have is a Siege Machine. You typically are using the Stone Slammer with a strategy like this, but you can also use the Flame Flinger. It's a good siege machine if you want to go in for a multi-target Inferno, or even going in for the Town Hall if possible. Other than this, it gives you a lot of flexibility, as the siege machine with the Flame Flinger can be incredibly strong, as the dragons really don't need the Stone Slammer. So with all of that funneling set, you can now send in your dragons, balloons, and Grand Warden into the base. The idea here is to go in for an air defense that you have not removed. This is mainly going to allow you to remove that super early so your dragons aren't taking too much damage. You should still have balloons as you work through, so that way you can use an early Grand Warden ability to keep everything protected. It just gets you the most amount of value, while then also using a rage spell within the core of the base in order to allow your dragons to just do so much firepower as they continue to push through. Having the balloons still up is incredibly important, because there could be Seeking Airmines in the base, in the core, so it's a better choice to have some of those balloons stay alive so they can soak those traps up for the dragons. As they kind of work themselves through, you have a free spell that you could use on something like the Queen or the Town Hall. Either one kind of works, or just really hitting anything that's hitting your dragons a little too hard. But outside of that, you'll have enough cleanup thanks to the dragons, thanks to maybe your CC troops or whatever other troops that you still have up. It's a very, very solid option and has a lot of flexibility. Since it has flexibility with siege machines, you have a lot of power in different options, and since you have multiple different bases that you can hit with this, it's a very, very solid option to 3-star with this every single time. And of course, objectively, the best Town Hall 12 attack strategy without super troops is still the Zap Witches. It's still incredibly strong. You're going to start by using an Earthquake and 4 lightning spells on an Inferno Tower, and doing the same thing on another Inferno Tower by using 1 Earthquake and 4 lightning spells. Your goal here is to remove 2 of these so you can deal with the 3rd Inferno, the Eagle Artillery, and the Town Hall pretty much with the rest of your attack. The goal should be that the Inferno and the Eagle Artillery and the Town Hall should be in a relative line to each other so you can easily remove each of those buildings with your troops and heroes. From here, you'll pretty much start spamming in your attack, with the golems being placed all alongside the base in order to have enough tankage, and then just spamming your witches all along. Having an ice golem to go in to tank in for your log launcher with the Barbarian King, Archer Queen, and Grand Warden, you can easily kind of continue to push through. Having the log launcher within a line with the Inferno can allow you to not have to worry about it, and allows you to also open up a lane. Using an early Grand Warden ability will also help any of your witches, and the log launcher especially. If your King, Queen, and Warden go off on and do their own thing, you still have Yetis from the log launcher, as it will still allow you to work yourself through even if you don't have your heroes going at the same time. You just want to make sure that what you're doing, though, is using a rage spell to support your Yetis, maybe support your witches, so they can remove anything within the core, including the Queen and enemy CC. This does really help a lot, since you should have a lot of tankage, and pretty much it's going to help the witches and the skeletons, even if their job is to remove the Town Hall, which makes it a lot easier for you. But you should still have your heroes moving around the base, so even if you didn't get rid of it with those troops, like with the witches and the Yetis, you should still have a lot of other troops towards the back end, including the King, the Queen, the Grand Warden, and a bunch of other troops that you can easily just swarm the rest of the base with. It's a very solid option that even if things don't go to plan, it can still 3-star. So it's a very strong option if you want to use a simple spam army without super troops.